Our second speaker this morning here is Benjamin Ricciardi. Say it correctly? Yeah. Hallelujah. You got one. Benjamin Ricciardi is the founder of Ironclad Restoration Marketing, a restoration industry-specific marketing company based in South Florida. Benjamin is the author of the No Bulls BS, okay? Guide to Benjamin. Benjamin is the author of the No Bulls Guide to Marketing, Internet Marketing for Restoration Contractors, and host the Restoration Rundown podcast, a podcast that is focused on everything related to marketing and owning a restoration business. Connect with Benjamin and Ironclad Restoration Marketing on social media for the latest tips on tricks and how to grow your restoration business. So, we'll be further babbling on.
All right, good morning, everybody. Everybody have some coffee this morning? I hope you didn't drink too much because I'm going to talk really fast like the old 80s Micro Machine commercials, if you remember that guy. So you may not need to overdose on caffeine this morning. I want to thank you guys for coming in today. Listen, there's a big difference between everybody sitting here and everybody that's not sitting here right now, and that just goes to show that you guys are serious business owners, that you are ready to scale your business, learn and grow by attending conferences just like this. As entrepreneurs, I know you guys are probably getting pulled in 5,000 different directions right now. Your phones are probably ringing off the hook. So I really appreciate you guys coming in here, but you know, you guys are the ones that should be giving yourselves a round of applause for sitting down on a Monday morning when probably everything goes wrong in your business to learn how to grow your business the right way. So I want to welcome you this morning to the 2023 No BS Internet Marketing Plan. This is something that I put together based off the book that I wrote, and it's specifically for water, fire, property remediation companies and cleaning companies on how to maximize their lead flow online. All right, we're going to cover a lot. It's going to be like drinking through a fire hose. We're not going to get into any of the nerdy specifics today, but we're going to give you a really nice overview. So we're going to cover some of the common problems that we find as an agency when it comes to marketing your business online. We're going to take a step back too, and we're going to talk about some of the fundamentals of marketing that I think that, you know, with all the shiny new objects that are out there and all the different modalities that you can use to market your business, we really miss the buck on some of the fundamental things that you need to have in order to market your business properly. And then we're going to really take a little bit of a deep dive into the channels, the top channels that I feel and we feel from our experience that you need to be tapping into right now to try to get those leads flowing into your business. And we're going to talk a little about tracking and measuring. I think that's a big area that a lot of us miss. And then we're going to go over the Ironclad digital omnipresence method. And everybody should have a workbook. This workbook is not to specifically follow along today. This is something I want you guys to take home. You all know if you've been to these conventions, you get out of here with a ton of momentum, then reality hits when you get back into work. So this is something I want you guys to take back to the hotel tonight, take back to your office when you guys get back this week or next week and really dive into it, because these are some of the things that are going to hammer home some of the fundamentals that we're going to talk about today. And I think it's something that's going to help you keep that momentum going. Does that sound good? We gotta get a clap if it's there. Everybody awake? You ready? All right. All right, I got a couple rules though. I know it's Monday. We don't want to hear about rules. You're all business owners. You don't play by anybody's rules. But I do have a couple things just so you guys get the most out of this. Take notes. If you got a pad and paper, take a lot of notes today. Try to be present and think about the things that are going to resonate with you. Think about the problems that you guys have in your business and really try to be purposeful with everything you're doing today. Who am I? So I had a little bit of an introduction. So who am I? Whether you care or not, my name is Benjamin Ricciardi. I did found Ironclad Restoration Marketing. We are a restoration industry specific marketing firm. What that means is we only work in your industry. And I feel like that gives us a little bit of an edge. We understand the ins and outs of what your industry is like. And we do know we have a good proven track record of driving lead flow to restoration and cleaning businesses. I did write a book. This is actually the third revision. Good old Google tends to update their algorithm quite frequently. I think in 2021 there was 4,500 algorithm updates, so it forces people like me who want to make sure we're putting good content out there to make a lot of revisions. I think every single time I go to publish my book, there's another algorithm update, and I really have to go back and be neurotic and change everything around. But it is available on Amazon if you guys want to check it out. I do host the Restoration Rundown podcast. It's a little known podcast, but it's a chance for me to get content out there to teach people how to properly market their business. We have a ton of guests on. We've had Larry Cooper come on, who's putting this event together, and just teach you guys what to do to avoid any missteps that a lot of businesses have, because we all kind of make the same mistakes as we're building these businesses up, no matter what type of business you're in. I contribute to R&R and CNR and a couple different magazines, again, just putting content out there in regards to marketing and how to properly scale your business. And I do work with restoration and cleaning businesses across the United States. We talk to people in Canada, and we've even talked to people in Australia now, believe it or not. And I do own and operate a commercial site development company. So I come at this stuff, and every time that we put a piece of content out, I always come at this from the eyes of a contractor because it's really important to be able to speak the lingo. This is a very ambiguous type of service, right? Digital marketing, most of the time, heads in the sand, you hire somebody to do it and really don't understand the ins and outs. All right? All right. I'm going to ask a question, but it's rhetorical. I don't expect anybody to answer this because we've already pre-cooked, like those old cooking shows, a few of the answers in here. But think about this a little bit. What are the common reasons that you think digital marketing efforts fail in 2023? All right, well, we talked to a lot of people, and we've dealt with hundreds of different businesses over the course of the tenure of having this business. And a few of the big ones are, there's a lot of options out there, right? And especially when you come to events like this, there's all these different new softwares, and there's different people out there trying to sell you on this and that to try to bring leads in. So it's really hard to figure out where you're going to spend your budget between pay-per-click, buying leads, Facebook ads, wherever you're going to go. It's a lot of money, and it's really hard to figure out where you really need to allocate those funds in order to be successful. One of the big ones, and we're going to speak about this a little bit, is you have unclear goals, and you have a lack of plan. You know, hey, I need to get leads into my business, but you don't have any written down specific goals or a plan of action on how to achieve those. As an entrepreneur, you've got a lot of tasks. I look at entrepreneurs or business owners, if you're owning a business, you're like plate spinners in the circus. There's a reason that plate spinners exist in a circus because it's almost impossible to do. So you've got a plate spinning over here with your day-to-day, you've got your equipment over here, and you've got this big old plate called marketing that kind of tends to wobble and fall and break all the time, and it's a little bit embarrassing if you're in the circus doing that. So you have a lot going on as an entrepreneur. I know you guys are probably getting bugged today, like I said before. A lot of business owners, too, have their head in the sand. When you're dealing with a service or a product that you don't understand, you tend to just put your head in the sand, hire somebody, whether it's your neighbor's kid's friend that's an IT guy that knows how to build websites, and you end up 3 years down the road realizing that it's not the right thing to do. You know, you have your head in the sand. So we're going to hopefully get some momentum today and pull your heads out of the sand, give you some data and empower you some knowledge on what you need to do moving forward. And a really big one, and this is true with everything, and I think we can all agree in this room, is there's a lack of consistency. Anything that you want to do when you're in this world, whether it's business-wise or personal or health, you have to be consistent at it to be able to grow. All right, but there's an opportunity. One, we're all sitting here, we're learning today. If we can create a clear plan with goals and utilize the proper online channels, you're going to get this perpetual pipeline of leads. You're going to stop having those problems and those same mistakes. You're going to have a perpetual pipeline, meaning leads are going to be coming into your business all the time. And you're going to be able to grow and scale and get all the gold chains like I got up there. That's not Photoshop, guys. That's what I wore. That's what I wear at night when I leave. And we all know clear goals is wind in your sails. I know they did a study in Harvard in 1979 of 100 of the graduating students. 80% of them did not have goals. They're just graduating college, ready to go out, throw their books in the trash. That 13 of them had goals written down, and 7 of them had goals with a plan of action. The 7 that had their goals with a plan of action were earning 10 times more than the other 2 groups combined. So it goes without saying, goals with that plan of action is paramount to getting any kind of success with anything you do with your business. And for the purpose of this presentation and what we're going to talk about with digital marketing, we're going to look at your website and all your Google property, all your digital assets as the means to fulfill your business's goals when it comes to sales. All right, so we talked about a little bit about goals. We're going to talk about the 3 fundamental aspects of marketing. We're going to do a little bit of a remedial class in marketing. We're going to talk about market, your message, and your media. And this is a big part of this this handout that I gave you guys. This is part of the workbook that I want you guys to check out later on tonight. But we're going to talk about the market first. Who? A lot of people don't know. God bless you. A lot of people do not know who they're selling to. And if you don't know who you're selling to, it's going to be really hard to sell to them. It's going to be especially hard to craft a message to be able to resonate with that person. So tonight, part of the homework, I want you to really think about who it is that you're trying to market your business to. Are you looking for homeowners? Are you trying to make relationships with property managers, real estate agents, anybody that lies in the verticals, roofers, plumbers? Because each one of those people is going to have a different fear and a different reason that they're not going to want to do business with you, or they're going to choose your competition over you. Does that make sense? So you really need to be able to see things through their eyes in order to craft a proper message to resonate with them. You want to sell them the painkiller. Why are you the best choice to do business with versus your competition? Okay, so this is a huge part. It's fundamental. You need to understand who your target client is. So if you're doing commercial loss, that's a totally different bucket. You're going to market to them totally different. It may not take smiles, handshakes, and candy dropping off at their offices. You may be interrupting things. So you really need to understand who you're selling to. And then you want to look and address their pain points. We talked about a lot of the fears that people have, the common ones, the low-hanging fruit. They're afraid of being ripped off, right? They're afraid of being overcharged. They don't want their home damaged worse than it was when you got there, and that happens quite a bit. Unfortunately, in this industry, there's a lot of that happens. They don't want to wait around too long, especially somebody that's suffered property damage. They're already dealing with enough headache. They don't want to sit there and wait 3 days for somebody to show up and give them a quote or dry them out or clean up their flood damage or whatever the property damage they may have. And they don't want to be inconvenienced in communication. That's a big problem in the contracting industry, is just lack of communication. I mean, you're so busy, it's really hard to follow up on every single person, especially in the residential world. They need a lot of nurturing, they need a lot of attention. So those are the fears, right? So once you craft who it is, you understand what they're afraid of or what is going to resonate with them, you want to craft your message, right? How are you going to set yourself apart? How are you going to address those fears that resonate with each one of these people? And it's pretty simple. You can address all of those fears very easily. Do you have 5-star rating on Google? Are you IICRC certified? Do you have 24/7 emergency service? Those are really easy things to put on your website that's going to address those pain points right off the bat without them having to think twice about it. Okay, do you have, if you're a cleaning company, do you have straightforward pricing, or are you going to pull the rug out from under them like the old ads would do, $4 cleaning for a whole room, and then they end up getting an $800 bill at the end of the day? People are afraid of that because it happens. Satisfaction guaranteed, you're licensed and insured, you have all that information on your website, which is going to lead us to the how. All right, how are you going to share your message and inform the market of why they should be doing business with you? So that's where the media part comes in. This is the foundation, this is the hub. And for the purposes of this type of marketing that we're talking about, the digital marketing, your website is how. The website is going to be the hub of all of your media, all of your USPs, your unique selling propositions, and that's going to be the way that you resonate with your target client. All right? But you have to have the basics in order. Just having a website, there's a lot more to it. It's nuanced. We're not going to get crazy into it, but you need to have a professional looking website. It needs to be mobile responsive. You need to have all that information above the fold. And when we talk about above the fold, it's like the old newspaper adage, the most important information is you don't have to unfold the newspaper to look at it. And the same thing goes for the website. With these types of examples here, you have all that. You have your call to actions, you have your unique selling proposition above the fold. It loads fast. That's a big thing. We live in a microwave society. People don't want to wait for anything. So if your website's spinning or one of your banners is taking a long time, there's a good chance they're going to bounce and they're going to go to somebody else. So the basics are, and you also want to make sure you have clickable phone number. You want to make sure it's really easy to get in touch with you, right? So you have a phone number at the top, a professional looking logo. You got a video. Video sells. People will watch a video more than read your website 9 times out of 10, okay? And you got to make sure it is device responsive, meaning mobile ready, right? Not only did Google switch to a mobile first indexing a few years ago, but it also helps with conversions. So converting those eyeballs into actual phone calls, which is the bread and butter. That's what we want at the end of the day. We want that phone ringing. Because conversion percentage is much more important than traffic to your website, okay? So make sure you have those basics in order. Take a look at your website. Take a look at the person that's ranking above you on Google. It's a really good way to get and measure where you at and where you are and how you stack up against them, all right? You got to remember the conversion percentage is more important than traffic, because traffic costs money. It costs a lot of money to drive traffic to your website, but conversions make you money. A lot of times as an agency, we'll get prospects call us and say, hey, we need to do better. The phone's not ringing. We take a look at their analytics and they've got a ton of traffic coming to their website. And what they need is they need to convert better. So a lot of times it goes right back to their website. We want to look at these conversion fundamentals and make sure they have those in order, because that's probably what's keeping those eyeballs from calling. Talked a lot about optimizing for mobile. It's super important, not only from an indexing point from Google, but it's a conversion point. Most people are pulling out their phones, I'd say 90% or greater, pulling out their phone to find a new product or service. I'm sure all of you did that. If you're in from out of town, raise your hand. Did you use your phone to find a restaurant in the last couple of days since you've been here? Okay. If the restaurant had a website that you had to scroll and minimize and move it all around, maybe for a restaurant you might still go there. But if you're talking about somebody that has property damage or needs a service, they don't want to wait. They don't want to have to do anything extra to get a hold of your business, okay? So you need to really make sure that your mobile site stacks up against your competition and even just adheres to the Google guidelines, because 1, you will not rank on Google if you don't have a mobile-ready website. And 2, people probably won't call you, okay? Again, same principles apply. You want that important information above the fold. They don't have to scroll anywhere on this cell phone to get in touch with you if you were this company, if they needed property damage in an emergency type situation, all right? A lot of this stuff is really basic. It's common sense. Think about how you buy and how you purchase and what you would be looking for. And the one I always love to do Look at your competition in your regional area or your local area and see what their stuff looks like, especially the people that are ranking well in maps and on the organic rankings on Google. I'm going to get some questions at the end. That way we all have a lot of time. We got 40-something more slides to go through. Anyways. All right, so you want to make sure, so a couple of takeaways today, and especially this stuff is going to be inside your workbook. You want to make sure your website speaks to your target customer. That's first and foremost. Those are marketing basics. Build a website that's ready to convert. We always like WordPress sites. They're very SEO friendly, and it's really easy to hand it off. If you don't like your agency, you always have something you can give them that most people can work on. You want to make sure your website's optimized for mobile. You want to make sure that your website is fast. A couple years ago, there was an algorithm update on Google that they actually weigh, we don't know how heavy exactly yet, but your page speed and your user experience is a ranking factor now. Okay, so Google offers a free way to check that. It's pagespeed.insights. Something like that. I have the link at the end of this. I'll share it with you guys, but you can put your website into it. It's Google PageSpeed Insights, and it'll actually tell you and give you a score and then give you ways that you can fix your website to get that score to get better. All right, and then you want to make sure you have the basics in order. You have a really nice looking logo, clickable phone number, and really straightforward, authentic content, images, and your messaging that resonates. And you got to remember, if there's one takeaway from this part, just remember that your conversion percentage is much more important than how much traffic you're getting. You can get 10 people visiting your website a month, and if all those 10 people turned into paid closed jobs, it's worth more than 500 people going to your website and nobody calling. All right. So now we're going to talk about some of the top channels that you want to focus on. All right, we got the basics out of the way. We did the remedial class, talked a little bit about the fundamentals of marketing, some conversion tips for your website. You got to have a website. If you don't have a website, you might want to think about starting to get one pretty soon. And the first thing that we're going to look at is dominating on the search engines, because let's face it, there's statistics out there. I think that 94% of internet experiences start on a search engine. So, and we all raised our hand in a room, I think, looking for a new product or service. That's where the attention is. So that's where we want to be, and that's where your business needs to be. Search engine we're going to talk about today. I don't know if you guys ever heard about it. It's called Google. Anybody here hasn't heard about it? Well, for the service industry, it is our bread and butter, right? This is where the majority of your leads, when it comes from a digital perspective, are going to come from. But I notice a lot of times when we're talking to people, even clients of ours, they don't understand what the Google search is, right? They don't know the difference between ads and LSA and organic, and we're talking all this stuff and saying, hey, your organic rankings are great, and they're like, well, we're not there in the top. And they're talking about the ad section. So I want to break it down real quick for anybody that doesn't fully understand it. When you do a Google search, we looked up water damage restoration in Chicago. There's three main components of it, right? You're going to have your ad section, which now for the service industry is going to be your LSA, or Google LSA, local service ads, and then your pay-per-click ads that are just below that. They're both run by Google Ads. They're both part of the ad system. The difference is, and we'll get into it a little bit deeper, is pay-per-click. You pay per click. LSA is more of a pay-per-lead type model, okay? It's a very stringent process to get part of the Google Guaranteed program, but if you're not, it's something you definitely need to jot that down and look into for your business right now. Then under that, we've got, I think is probably one of the most important areas right now, especially since this most recent algorithm update. Everybody heard of Google My Business? It's not called that anymore, so please don't call it that anymore. No, it's actually, they changed the name to Google Business Profile, and they actually decoupled the Google Business Profile from organic results a little bit more. So they're very much tied into each other. So if you are paying somebody to do SEO, or you're doing it on your own, and they're not managing your Google Business Profile, you're like watering down your gasoline on getting your rankings in organic search in the Maps section. And again, the Google Business Profile is tied to the Maps rankings. In the service industry, that's your bread and butter. People are looking at, for a carpet cleaning company near me or a property damage restoration, those are the results that you want to be in that top three there. And then right below the maps is your organic search. These are your non-paid listings. This is a direct result of search engine optimization and now Google Business Profile management. It should be, and it's funny, it should be the foundation of your marketing plan. All right, and it's funny that it is basically literally the foundation of a Google search. They're very much strongly correlated with your Google Business Profile. So at the end of the day, you want to have as much real estate on page one as possible. All right, that is gold for you. So attacking each one of those components, if you can afford to do so, is going to be ideal for getting a perpetual pipeline of leads and getting the most attention on your business right now. So we talked a little bit, what's the difference? LSA and pay-per-click is the first section in a Google search. Pay-per-click requires, and if you've done it, it requires a constant investment, maintenance, and manipulation. Make sure you're not spending too much money. I've heard horror stories of people spending $10,000 in a day, getting 0 calls. Not ideal. You're going to get really quick results. Organic is free, but it takes a long time to rank. I don't know if any of you have worked with an agency. If they didn't tell you this, they probably should have. It could take 6 months to a year, sometimes faster, to really rank well in the organic section for all of your high-quality keywords. You guys, fortunately and unfortunately, this is a very competitive industry. It's no secret on how to rank, so everybody's doing it. But organic is sustainable over time. When you stop pumping money into your organic search once you're ranking well, you'll stay there for a while. Unless your competition goes, it could be months, it could be years, you'll do well. And it's different with pay-per-click. But I like to break it down like this. Leads are food for your family, for your business, whatever reason that you're trying to make money with this business. And there's 2 ways that we can get them. Main ways. One, a search engine. We want to think about it as a garden, right? Organic search is like planting yourself a garden, right? You have to go invest in seeds. You have to invest in soil. You have to till the garden. You have to maintain it. You have to keep the pests out. There's a lot of work involved in it, and it takes a long time for your garden to bear fruit. But as a business owner, you got to pay the bills. You got to keep your trucks busy. So pay-per-click is like going to the grocery store, right? So pay-per-click is going to get you leads right away when it's done well. But at some point, your garden will grow, and then you have this really great problem to where you can say, well, we don't have to spend as much money in the grocery store anymore. We can start eating off of our garden. There's a good chance that if you're scaling your business well, you're probably going to want to maintain and do both forever. But you do have that option, and I like options. All right, so we want to think about that. If there's anything you take away from that, think about that, especially if you're dealing with an agency, maybe take a little pressure off them. It does take a long time for that garden to grow when it's done right, but there are some things you can look for to make sure that you're at least on the right track, all right? It's hard to get an ROI when you're just looking at dirt for 4 or 5 weeks and nothing's popping out yet. So you have to really do the due diligence on your own and learn a little bit about organic traffic to make sure that you're on the right track. But why do you need SEO? If I haven't convinced you already, 90% of people use a search engine to find a search. 100% of the people raised their hand in here today. 69% of website traffic comes from local and organic search right now. And that's combined with organics and maps listings. All right, and we already know when you're in the service industry, those maps rankings are crucial. But the opportunity that we talked about before is 58% of companies don't optimize for local search. So you have a huge opportunity to get ahead of the game, ahead of your competition, just by properly optimizing your website for local search. All right? Because when people are looking for property damage restoration contractors, they're not trying to find a restaurant in Fort Lauderdale when they're out of town. They need somebody to come right away. So having those first page rankings and real estate on page 1 is the biggest thing that you can do for your business right now. And the other funny thing is that the best place to hide a dead body, if anybody's looking for it, we're in South Florida, so this happens quite often. Put it on page 2 of a Google search result. Nobody will ever find it. And just one thing, there are no guarantees with SEO. I don't care what agency tells you, people can promise you the world. They literally can't guarantee SEO results. You cannot guarantee organic place. Actually, on Google, it tells you to beware of any company that tells you they can guarantee any preferential treatment or page 1 rankings for any of your keywords. You should run the other way. There's no such thing. If there was, it would be a little bit more competitive, I think, in our industry. All right, remember, we want to keep the search engine happy. Got to have a website to rank, right? A couple things. You want to make sure you have a separate page for every service that you want to rank for. So if you offer 4 or 5 different things, make sure you have a page on your website with keyword-rich content, at least 500 words. That's probably the minimum, to let Google index your website properly and get those rankings for that keyword. You have to have the proper on-page optimization, and your agency should be doing this, making sure you have all your meta descriptions and your meta title tags and all that stuff in order. It's just how Google reads your website. You want to make sure you're giving them the best shot to read your website properly. User experience is a big factor, and speed's a big factor, and it's going behind me on the rocket ship there, but that's what it says, big factor. You want to have backlinks. I'm sure if you guys have used an agency before, they talk about building backlinks and stuff like that. All backlinks are other high authority websites referring to your website. So having your website listed on the Experience website page, RIA, any of the industry associations, those are really high authority websites in this industry, and having them linked to your website is very good in Google's eyes because they're trying to build trust. And then you should be linking internally in your website if you're blogging. Have those blogs linked to your service page, have them linked to city location pages, and it really helps Google. It gives Google more specific ways to read your site and tells them that they can trust this page to give it ranking, the preferential rankings that you're looking for. You have to have authoritative content. Google's multiple algorithm updates they've had has been all about authority, making sure that you're an authority in the space and you're putting the right kind of content on your website that people can understand and is actually helpful. You're not letting just AI just spit out content for you and hoping that you rank. And you have to have an optimized Google business profile, which we're going to talk about now. You want to dominate Google Maps. Your Google business profile is probably one of the most important things you can look for. The beauty about Google business profile is it's free. You don't have to pay for it. If you do it well, and if you're managing social media, if you guys can run Facebook or Instagram, you can properly run your Google business profile. It's as easy as that, but it does take a lot of work. It's really cool. Most home services calls do come from your Google business profile. You can track calls for free, and you can message directly with your customers. You can get reviews, and then you can post your job photos and company updates to help convert those eyeballs into traffic. Maps are one of the most prominent sections on Google, especially in the service industry. That's where people are going to find people that do what you do. We talked about this algorithm update that increased the importance of the Google business profile, changed the name as well to have it tied in with your organic search rankings. You want to just make sure that you claim and verify it. If you don't have one, do it. Properly optimize it. Again, this entire presentation is going to be available on our website after this, so if we're moving fast, don't worry, you'll be able to refer back to this. You don't have to record it or anything like that. But the biggest ranking factor on your Google business profile are your reviews. All right, and reviews, I know, are really hard to get. People usually only want to leave a review when they're mad. You're motivated to be mad, you ate a bad dinner. So there's a couple things. You want to just make sure that it's a part of your every process in your business is to try to get as many reviews as you can. You got to remember 87% of customers do read reviews for local businesses that they're going to use. 73% of consumers pay attention to reviews that were written in the last month, right? So most of us and most people, when they're going to get reviews, they get they get a ton in the first 2 weeks, and then it's like years before they get another review because they've hit up every customer they can think of, their mom, their dad, their uncles, their aunts, leave them reviews. You want to make sure that you're getting reviews on a consistent basis in order to get your Google business profile to rank well in the service area that you serve for your business. All right, and we do want to utilize pay-per-click and LSA. We want to go to the grocery store while we're waiting for these leads to pop in, okay? So what is pay-per-click? Just stands for pay-per-click. You bid on keywords and you get placement on Google above the organic and map sections. And this, remember, think grocery store, all right? LSA are the local service ads, the Google Guarantee Program, if any of you are on it. You pay per lead. There's a little bit of a vetting process that's involved with it, but it's totally worth the time that you invest in doing it. You have to be accredited, you have to be insured, you have to be licensed, and you need at least 3 Google reviews to be part of their program. You actually have to follow up on leads within 15 minutes or they pass it on to the next person. But that's good practice anyways. You should be following up on leads that call your business in faster than 15 minutes already. Again, this is another grocery store. It's like Whole Foods, right? The other one's just going to the local place. This is Whole Foods. These are good ones. They're qualified. They're sending you qualified leads that are coming to your business, and you only pay for the qualified ones. So how do we dominate Google? You build your solid foundation with SEO and that organic ranking section. Remember, it takes months to rank. We need to get leads, so let's use pay-per-click and LSA to get those leads now. And again, you want to take over the entire first page of Google. Your ads, your maps, and your organic section. But we want to track and measure this stuff. How do we know that it's working? One of the best ways that you can do this without going crazy in your business, and I applaud you if you're already doing this, is use call tracking and be present in your analytics meetings. Okay, call tracking is something that we require our clients to do. They get a spreadsheet, they get every single call recorded that comes into their business. You're able to have different phone numbers for different things that you're spending money on. So if you have ads, you've got people running your organic, and then you have another number on your Google business profile, every month you can see where the money's coming from. So we solve that problem that we talked about in the beginning where there's all these channels and you don't know where to spend your budget. Right, does that make sense? And learn Google Analytics a little bit. It's pretty simple. You have two areas that you're really need to pay attention to: your organic search, how much traffic, your bounce rates. Are people just going to your website and leaving? Then you have a conversion issue. You usually get a good idea of that if your phone's not ringing. And you should monitor it. Most or any kind of agency that's working with you should be having these meetings with you on a monthly basis to walk you through your keyword placement, your organic traffic, the traffic coming from your ads, your cost per click, all of these things. Just be present and learn a little bit about it. Get my book. Stop by our booth at 309. I'll hand you one if you're here today. And there's some things you can learn in there. There's a lot of really great education coming up today, I think, as well, that you're going to learn a little bit more about pay-per-click. So I definitely strongly suggest you guys sit through that and learn about it, learn about analytics, and monitor it on a monthly basis. That's how you're going to track your goals that you're writing down for your business. All right, social media. Anybody heard of it? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. Social media, you can leverage social media. Property damage, a little bit different than the cleaning industry. You want to post things that are relative to the types of jobs you want to get. If you're going to dedicate time and you have a finite amount of it, if you're doing it yourself, spend a lot more time on your Google business profile and getting that in order first. But if you're going to be managing your Facebook and your social media and you're scrambling for something to post, just post the type of work that you're doing, show off before and afters, answer frequently asked questions, share your blog on your social media pages, use video, teach something. People will love watching video. And if you're in the cleaning industry, this works for you. If you're in somewhere where they have storm damage like down here, ads are great. Especially for like a storm that's hit or you're a cleaning company doing a promotion, but use video for your ads. They're going to convert a lot better. You can film a video with your phone, just hold it out like this and tell people something authentic and teach them something. But at the end of the day, we want to be omnipresent. So we preach the omnipresent approach here. You don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. Last year or the year before, Facebook went down. So if you're one of those people that's running ads for your cleaning company only on Facebook and you don't have a website and you're not running your Google business profile, you were SHIT out of luck, right, for at least a day. Not only that, but during COVID, their AI was running their platforms. So I don't know if you guys noticed it, but your ad campaigns might have got shut right down for no reason. Your whole Facebook account could have got shut down if you're talking about the wrong things. So you don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. You want to spread the wealth a little bit. You want to make sure you're putting money and you're investing into your website. You're investing in SEO, that evergreen type of lead that's going to come in. Manage your Google business profile properly. Use social media. Use LinkedIn. Use YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine. So I implore you to start doing videos. Do a video about every single service that you offer. And then the big thing is you want to syndicate that content. You want to be omnipresent. You want to be everywhere. Everywhere the attention is right now. Because these are all services. Google could go down. Their server farm could shut down and mess everything up for a couple days. So we really need to know that you have your eggs spread out right to make sure that you're maximizing your visibility online. But the thing that I like to talk about is syndication. We do it here. I make videos. If you paid attention, I make a video every single day. I host webinars, do the podcast, but I syndicate that content. I don't just spend all, and it takes so much time to make this video. And I don't just make a video. I'm going to squeeze as much juice out of that video as I possibly can. So that video gets transcribed and put on a blog on our website. We're going to share it on social media. We're going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to share it on LinkedIn. I'm going to put it on my website. And I'm going to share it on my Google business profile, because why not? If you're already going to go through the motions of creating this content, then you want to make sure that you syndicate it and spread it around for the most people to see. All right? And that's how you can make 5 equal 1. I'm not great at math. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it does when you're talking about one piece of content being used for 5 different things for your company. And another way to do this is getting involved. I can't say it enough. You need to be joining your national associations, your regional associations, get involved in your community, create some sort of scholarship for a high school. It doesn't cost a lot of money, but it really helps you with the giver's gain mentality, right? And also, everybody that's sitting here, you're all in a very similar business and very similar industries. You can learn from each other. There is no competition in this world. You should be using your competition to learn and get yourself better every single day. Talk to everybody, shake hands, take people out to lunch, take me out to lunch. But no, you really need to be present in your community. And it's the only way you're going to avoid mistakes, because we're all going to make mistakes. A lot of us make the same mistakes when we run businesses all the time. Things like this experience event, are great ways to try to avoid those things. Sitting in education classes like this early in the morning are great ways to avoid those mistakes. And then create helpful video content for people. While you're here today, challenge yourself, pull your phones out, make a video about you being here. Show your community, show your avatar, your target client, that you're serious about your business. You're learning and you're growing and you're getting better. That's what people want to see. It may not directly affect a phone call, but it will help affect conversions, and it will show Google, and it will show with all this content that you're using everywhere that you're serious about your business. All right, so recap. Before you do anything else, figure out who you want to sell to. All right, identify your target avatar. There's stuff in the workbook about it. Make sure your website's built to convert with those fundamentals. Implement those 3 modalities: SEO, pay-per-click, Google business profile. Manage your social media, and make sure that you're omnipresent. Everywhere the attention is, everybody's going to have a different client, and those clients are going to be in different places with their attention in different areas. Make sure that's where you're putting your brand. All right, anybody, we've got a few minutes. I know we had some questions. Anybody have any takeaways? Anything you learned? Like to share? Raise your hand, scream, jump, run out the door. Now's your chance. I know you had a question in the beginning.
I did. As far as like researching your competitors' see what they're doing right, so to speak. Like any tips on how to do that? I mean, I can search carpet cleaning in Jackson, New Jersey,
Yeah.
5 times, and I'm going to get 5 different competitors.
Yeah, so
How do you know who your true competitor is?
the low-hanging fruit with that question, just to answer in general terms, look who's ranking better than you. Take a look at their website, pull their website up on your phone, see what they're doing different from a brand perspective. Look at their Google Business Profile page. There's a lot to the Google Business Profile we didn't cover, but I have a ton of videos on our website, which I'll share at the end of this, about what to post. But take a look at what they're doing on their Google Business Profile. Look how many reviews they have. Look how they're responding to reviews, right? So, and then you need to do the same. And then just look in a mirror and look at how you stack up. Open your website up on a mobile device, open up their website. Whose loads faster? So there's a lot of little things that you can incrementally increase and make better to be able to kind of just overtake them eventually. But they're one of the best places to learn about your competition and what they're doing right. Because if they're there, they're doing something right. Yeah. All right? Yes, sir.
How long are your videos that you make every day, roughly?
It depends. I have videos that are an hour long. I have a lot of the videos we post on social media will clip up 1 to 3 minutes. You know, the attention, you don't have a lot of attention on social media. It's a very invasive form of marketing. But when it comes to YouTube, you know, make sure if you make a 10-minute video, you've got 10 1-minute videos you can share on your social media. And nowadays it's so easy to edit video content with all the apps we have on our phones. I mean, you could do it in 5 minutes and cut yourself up a bunch of videos. The biggest thing I would say for that though is just be consistent. You know, don't just go balls to the wall. We got all this momentum from this convention and this conference and just make a video and then never do it again. Be consistent. Most likely nobody's going to watch your video for a very long time. Right? So you gotta you don't want to look at how many likes and how many views on any of that stuff. You just want to be consistently putting out helpful content to your target avatar to kind of address their pain points and their fears. If you offer 24/7 emergency service, it's a great video. Hey, what's up? It's so-and-so from so-and-so restoration. Just want to let you guys know that, you know, if you ever suffer property damage, we're here for you 24/7. Call our number. We have somebody standing by. We have an hour response time. So you've addressed all of those pain points in a 30-second video, 10-second video, and put it everywhere. Anybody else? Anybody learn anything cool? Question.
Question about reviews.
Yes.
Some of our local reviews aren't sticking. Do you have any explanation for this?
I wish I did. It's crazy. I think it's happening a lot. It's not just you. It happens to everybody. There's not a whole lot of support with Google. So Google doesn't tell you. They have a lot of problems. They always have a bug. And you don't know about it until you've already pulled your hair out for like 4 months trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And then all of a sudden they'll release some like press release like, oh yeah, we noticed a bug with the reviews. And all I can say is just continue to try to get them. I know it sucks because you already are hammering somebody to give you a review and then they give you one and it's not there. A couple things, make sure they're logged into their Gmail. You know, little things like that may turn, but there is really no answer. Google's allowing their AI to monitor and manage a lot of that stuff, but they do have a pretty decent support system. So if you just bug the hell out of them all the time and show them screenshots of the review, you may be able to get those back. Yes, sir.
My biggest thing is, I know this is not a question for you, but I just want to know if you have feedback. So you go to a job with another contractor, which happens all the time. You end up beating them out for the job. 2 or 3 hours later, you get a random negative 1-star review.
Yeah.
Lie, all these lies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You put it in a community, they flag it, and it's still there.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing that
there's a lot, as great as it is for your business, there's a lot of stuff like that just drives you nuts. All I can say, and it takes a lot of time too, so you follow up. I mean, hammer them, report the review every single day. Competition, and it stinks, but competition can just go leave you a bunch of negative reviews all day long, right? But if you're diligent about it and you work with their support system, there's a good chance you can get that review removed. It happens so much, and you just got to think of how many millions of businesses are out there that this is happening to. So the support's going to be a little bit lagging, but I would just stay on them, stay diligent. I mean, especially if you're spending money on ads and you're doing all this work and you're adhering to their guidelines and you're performing well. You know, that's one thing that you can control. Make sure you're getting good reviews by doing a good job. You'll eventually get them to go away. But I will say, caveat for everybody out there, if you are getting these negative reviews, respond to them in a very helpful manner. Don't argue, don't fight. Google will look at that. Other people will look at that. Respond to it as respectfully as you can. Leave some sort of contact information to resolve the issue, but in the background you're steaming and you're writing Google messages, especially if it's a fake review. But forward facing, you want to make sure that you're answering every review that you get. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
In the same topic, there's some companies they offer to remove those bad reviews from your Google website. Any comment on that?
I can't say one way or the other if they're any good. I would be careful. Most of the time, in most things in lives, things that sound too good to be true are. You can remove them yourself. I don't know. I would tend to err on the side of caution by having somebody else, giving somebody access to your account. There's a lot there, and it's very valuable. That Google business profile and your website and all these branded assets that you have online are so valuable. You have to be really careful. It's the same thing with like people buying domains and allowing another company to buy them a domain on their behalf. It's like letting somebody else set up your business under their name, and then one day you want to like take it away from them, and they're like, yeah, good luck. Happens all the time. One thing back on the website, so just a warning, make sure that you own your own domain. Make sure you have complete full access to your hosting and you own the hosting account. It's really important because if you do, and if you've ever been in a situation like this, we see it so often, unfortunately, people will get a hold of your stuff and not give it back to you. So when you're putting and investing all this money and this time into these assets, make sure that you own them. And it sounds simple, but a lot of people don't. All right, it goes with your ad accounts, everything. Just make sure you hold the keys of your kingdom. So I would err on the side of caution with that and just figure out how to learn Google support system and just flag those reviews if you want. If they're legitimate reviews, then there's nothing anybody's going to be able to do to get rid of them. You just respond to it, try to contact that client and see if you can resolve it in back channel ways in a really nice way. Don't incentivize them. You can't like offer money and everything like that. You can't offer money, but I don't know. I would err on the side of caution when it comes to services like that. Most of the time you see those in Facebook groups like Restoration Rebels, and like some guy will just spam everybody like, we'll remove all your reviews for $1. I don't know. I've never done it. I don't think I would. All right. I know that I'm going to get yanked off the stage here. I've shared a lot of information. We're going to make this whole entire presentation available on our website in a few days. So keep taking a look. There's all kinds of other webinars we have on our YouTube channel. If you want to take a picture of this slide, this is all the different ways to get in touch with us. I implore you to listen to the podcast. There's some pretty cool guests on there. If you haven't gotten tired of listening to me go on and on and on today. We do, every single episode is hopefully we bring value to the table, and you're going to learn something about your business and help avoid those mistakes. That's why we do what we do. You can find it on any streaming service. Stop by and see us. We're going to be in booth 309. If you guys have any more specific questions, I got a lot of my team members here wearing Ironclad shirts. We'll be back there. I've got some books. You guys want to take a look and learn this stuff yourself. I implore you, I'm all about learning everything yourself to make sure you don't get ripped off and make sure that you're doing the right thing, because time is money in this industry. So we want to make sure that you guys are set off on the right foot. All right, I think that's my time. No? Anybody else have any questions? No? All right. Thank you. I'll be here for a few minutes if anybody wants to chat.